We've learned that earlier this month, China launched the M503 air route. What does this move mean to the current situation of the Taiwan Strait?
Yes, you are right. It was on the 4th of January this month that China activated four air routes without prior consultation with the Taiwanese government. There are three levels of significance of this issue. Number one, it is a clear violation of an understanding or an agreement reached by the two sides of the Taiwan Strait, China and Taiwan, in March 2015. When the Chinese first activated the M503 air route southbound from north to south. And then we quickly come forward to show our concern and talk to the Chinese Civil Aviation Bureau. And at the end of the discussion, they agreed that they would only fly southbound. And if in the future they are going to change the air route, they will come forward to talk with Taiwan beforehand. But this was not honored. Secondly, it concerns the regional air safety, because we are talking about an area where the air traffic is very busy. And it's not only flights flying in two different flight information zones. It's Shanghai Flight Information Zone and the Taipei Flight Information Zone. It's actually flight crossing two information zones from Taiwan to the offshore islands of Jinmen and from Taiwan to the offshore islands of Machu. So it certainly would affect the safety of international passengers. Given that kind of situation, it's more than necessary that the Chinese Civil Aviation Bureau, the Chinese government, should talk to Taiwan to talk about how to regulate the new routes, especially when we are talking about two airports very close to each other from Jinmen and Xiamen. And according to the information I get, these are two airports only 10 kilometers away from each other. And you are talking about taking off and landing in this airport without a consultation with your neighbor, which doesn't make sense to me. The number three very important issue concerns the regional security. We are looking at Asia as a whole. In Northeast Asia is the Korean Peninsula. Of course, it's a very tense issue going on now with North Korea and many other major powers in verbal attack with each other. Well, we look south, and it's the South China Sea, which is also a very tense area when China is building up out of a rock into a man-made island and militarize those islands with radars and very advanced weaponry systems. Only the Taiwan Strait, which is in between South China Sea and North Korea, is relatively stable and peaceful. The reason for that is because we exercise reason. We exercise self-control. Even though Taiwan has been pressing Taiwan a lot since the first day of President Tsai's administration. But we have responded in a very reasonable way, not wanting to revert back to the old path of confrontation. But now China is taking advantage of our reasonableness and doing this entirely unilaterally without bothering to talk to Taiwan. And I think this is a very, very bad precedent. If this is the thin end of the wedge, going to harm the bilateral relations between China and Taiwan, it's going to harm the regional security in East Asia as well. So it's not good news, not only to Taiwan, it's not good news to the regional countries and to the countries in entire Asia. Thank you.
Recently, we also see signs that Vatican and China, they are growing more cooperative relations. Does Taiwanese government have any concerns with the Taiwan-Vatican relation? Is there going to be any change with the relation?
Of course, the Holy See is the only country in Europe that we have diplomatic ties. That alone make it a very important diplomatic symbol for us. We certainly want to not only maintain but consolidate our relations with the Holy Sees. Of course, we have seen from every news report about the Chinese effort stepping up to improve its ties with the Vatican. But I think the most important issue is not bilateral relations with China and between China and Vatican. It should concern the issue of the freedom of religion. In China, China does not allow its members of the Communist Party to believe or to take in the religious belief of Catholicism. China is a country, Communist Party is a party that is atheist. It doesn't believe in any God. So this is an issue of whether China has a freedom of religion, or to go even too basic, whether China has a freedom of expression, China has any freedom of assembly or not. When you have a religion, you need to assemble a congregation, everything. So it would be unfathomable for me, incomprehensible for me to see normalization of relations between Beijing and the Holy See. Because, as I said, China doesn't have this condition, this environment for their people to believe in any religion freely. Of course, in China, there is a so-called the patriotic church, which is the church supported and perhaps controlled by the state, by Beijing. But obviously, this is not acceptable to the Holy See. I hope there are important principles here the decision makers in the Holy See would hold on to. This is a matter of principle. It's not only bilateral relations.
Considering the current situation and tension between China and Taiwan, what does Taiwan expect from the EU to facilitate the peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait?
It's a very important question, and it is actually something that we have been working on continuously. We hope to present the whole picture of Taiwan Strait, of the relations between China and Taiwan to the greater audience in the international community, to help people understand the issue better. We understand that China is rising to become almost a superpower in our region. China has a lot of resources in capital to buy a lot of, to invest in many countries and to help a lot of countries. But the help rendered from China is always with a condition, with a political agenda. The whole world must understand that it has to decide whether this is, at the end of the day, beneficial to them. In Taiwan, we have been dealing with mainland China for a long time. This is the time when we are facing strong difficulties in the Coral Strait because China doesn't want to come to talk to Taiwan. We appeal to the Chinese decision makers to resume the dialogue as soon as possible. Unfortunately, China put a precondition to that. That is, Taiwan must accept the 1992 consensus before China can agree to come forward to the negotiation table. Unfortunately, the 1992 consensus for the time being at this current juncture means that Taiwan is part of China. 1992 is a long time ago. When in 1992, when this consensus was there was already controversy. Now, after so many years, it has evolved into the situation that 1992 consensus would mean, at least from the Chinese rhetorics, it would mean that Taiwan is part of China. No diplomatically elected Taiwanese leaders can accept that. And that's a very clear fact, and I hope the Chinese leader would understand that. And this is a very hard issue for both sides to come together, but we want to still continue to work diligently for it.